Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to our webinar, How to Take Advantage of Incentives to Develop Your Orphan Products in Europe. We are really delighted that you could all join us for the session today. BlueReg are an international pharma consultancy offering strategic regulatory advice and hands-on outsourcing solutions to life science companies through a multitude of services from product development to life cycle management, early access programs and more. We are experienced in supporting our clients in all aspects of regulatory development and look forward to sharing our knowledge and experience in this session today. Firstly, I would like to introduce you to the BlueReg team hosting the session today. I am Claire Ray, Director of Regulatory Affairs. I have worked in regulatory affairs for over 20 years, supporting a wide range of global regulatory programs. I'm joined by my colleague this afternoon, Marlene Chouplay-Nolay. Marlene is a Business Development Director who, prior to joining BlueReg, worked for 15 years in the pharmaceutical industry. Marlene's role is to contribute to BlueReg's extension in Europe and beyond. In this function, she builds and maintains trusted business relationships to ensure BlueReg clients are provided with the services most suited to their needs. So in terms of our agenda today, this will be split into two sections. We will commence with our technical presentations covering orphan drugs, where we are, what is the regulatory context for orphan medicinal products in the EU? And finally, why utilise a third party to develop my orphan drug in the EU? The second part of our webinar will be a Q&A session with the BlueReg experts. Please do send your questions for the Q&A using the Q&A box found at the bottom of your screen throughout the webinar. Sadly, due to the number of attendees in this session, we are not able to take live audio questions directly from the attendees in order to maximise the questions we are able to address in the Q&A. So firstly, let's start with some definitions to set the regulatory scene. What is an orphan drug and what is a rare disease? So an orphan drug is a medicinal product used for the prevention, diagnosis, or treatment of a rare disease. And a rare disease is a disease that affects a small percentage of the population. The definition of rare is based on prevalence, depending on regional and national legislation. Although the exact cause for many rare diseases remains unknown, most rare diseases have a genetic component. So rare diseases can in fact vary in prevalence between populations, i.e. a disease that is rare in some populations may be more common in others. The prevalence to declare a disease as rare can be different from one region to another. In the United States, as defined by the Orphan Drug Act, a rare disease is a disease or condition that affects less than 200,000 people in the United States. And in the European Union, in contrast, a disease affecting fewer than 5 people in 10,000 is considered rare. So to put this into some context in my final slide of the section, 30 million patients in Europe suffer from an orphan disease. In other words, that means that 1 person in 17 lives with an orphan disease. In order to support patients and their families, Eurodis Rare Diseases Europe was founded in 1997. Eurodis is a non-governmental patient-driven alliance of patient organisations and individuals in the field of rare diseases in Europe and beyond. Their mission is to build a strong pan-European community of patient organisations and people living with rare diseases to be their voice at the European level. Eurodis is active in many key orphan medicine areas, including at the European Medicine Agency, where Eurodis is a member of relevant scientific committees. They also play a pivotal role in obtaining EU-level legislation that encourages the development of medicinal products for rare diseases. Other initiatives focus on improving equitable access to rare disease treatments throughout Europe. So now I will hand over to Marlene to walk us through orphan drugs. Where are we?
Well, thank you, Claire, for this introduction. So before we dive into the technical part of the Orphan Drug Regulation, let's take a step back and take a look at some figures that will help us understand where we are